Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Beards Without. Hold on. Sorry about that. Let's start over. How could I even be serious about that? I can't. I can't even make a straight face now. All right, so let's start over. Welcome to another episode of Beards Without Borders. My name is George Bruno, also known as the Sultan of Silver, here talking about anything we want. Now that's a first. Actually, I'm kind of digging the hat because it kind of hides the, doesn't blind me, but then you can't see my eyes. So this is the weathered the storm. Actually, I didn't weather the storm at all. I left Florida before the storm came. It tore down some property. I made it back to Philly. About 3 days before the storm hit. So it's all good. Family's fine. All right. So tonight, my friends, my brothers, peace be with you. Peace never makes the headlines, only war does. I'll leave it at that. Tonight's Beards Without Borders broadcast is brought to you by the big old freehand Missouri Meerschaum. It's actually like half of a corn cob. Let me just fire this up. I've got McBaron Old Dark Fired in it. One of my favorites in the whole world. It blows my mind how good it is. It changes every time as that tobacco ages. I get my tobacco. Watch, I'll show you some. I get to most of my tobacco. I get in like a tin, or I buy it bulk, such as a bulk bag of tobacco, and then I immediately transfer it to a mason jar and label it, and the date that I put it in there, and also the date that was on the tin if it came in a tin. And truth be told, I've had this for a little over a year. Every time I open it, it's like the richest brownies in the world. Fresh cut hay, raisin bread. That's what's coming to my mind as I smell it. I love it, and it changes every time as the sugars in the pipe tobacco ferment and age. It's a pleasure just opening this up. So that's McBaron Old Dark Fired. Now, let's go back to this. This right here, I use this as a tamper. It's from a 150-year-old German pipe organ, the Principal 8. Can you read that? Okay. It's the pipe on the pipe organ, the note that is usually at the end of a song or a hymn. The one that rattles the stained glass windows in a church, the Principal 8, is the sound that you feel. It would be the medieval ages version of a subwoofer. How's that sound? Anyways, the controls on a pipe organ for the various pipes and the sounds and the pitches are these knobs. You'll see a whole row of knobs, sometimes rows of knobs, and these are called stops. And they pull out a valve that releases air or restricts the air in a pipe organ. Anyways, this is the Principal 8. Back when organs were under protection because they were the only state approved music. Can you imagine that? That was a trip, huh? Anyways, 150-year-old German pipe organ. And I'm guessing that's probably ivory. I mean, I've had this for so long. 150-year-old. So, and I knew at the minute I saw it what it was. I use it as a pipe tamper. So a little history every time I take a puff. What kind of tamper, for you pipe smokers out there, what kind of tampers do you like? Are you like one of these guys, you know, the classic 3 pipe tool guy? I use this a lot too. What else? You know, you know what makes a great, I can't find it. Ah, there it is. Great pipe tamper, if you're in a pinch. Chapstick. I just put some on. Let me light up. It's also sponsored by Kirk and Sweeney. 12-year. About 3/4 of a shot in the square shot glass. So I'm drinking through the glass and at my stash. So here's to you, a little bit of sipping rum. You didn't get your glass. Come on, toast with me, will you please? Here's to you, and thank you. Boy, that was nice. Those of you that don't drink, for those that had a problem with it, I feel you. For those that never had an issue with it, let me turn this light off. I love this little lantern, man. In this hat, I feel like I just survived a storm. And and where I'm taping right now, like when I move, you can't hear it on camera, but I hear little creaks in the woods, so I kind of feel like a sea captain. I think, I don't know, this could be a regular, or almost a regular. What was I talking about? Oh, having a toast to somebody wherever you are, if all you can do is raise a glass of water, and that's my response many times to emails, is when somebody shares something of victory with me, the Sultan always says, I raise a glass to you. And in many cultures, that's a compliment. So for you, my subscriber, fan, haters, everybody, everyone who watches this for whatever reasons, whether it be for Beards Without Borders or the other things, here's a glass to you. Nice. Excuse me while I do some tamping and lighting. If I'm doing this much tamping and lighting, then there's a possibility I didn't light it properly to begin with. So let's try this. I always have a, for lack of a better, it's like a little metal shot glass with strike anywhere matches on it. Someone shared with me, always light 2. That makes sense. I like that. Just on the arm of my chair. There we are. Let the sulfur burn off. Let the wood start burning. Now. That's what I'm talking about. Even though there's a debate going on, I'm out here. I got peace here, unless there's World War III, but which will make the headlines. Actually, not if it's World War III. Listen, I bid you peace. You bid me peace. This is our passport to brotherhood, the beard. I travel abroad. I travel in this country. And consistently feel an instant connection with other large bearded brothers. And hopefully not sisters. That's just me busting your chops. You know that. It's the brotherhood. I pass a guy in the airport. We look at each other. All of a sudden, I see his like stash go up. His beard was like bigger than mine, like 6 inches bigger than mine. Kind of smirk at each other. As we pass each other, it's like, boom, fist. You know how I do that? We did that with each other, like unplanned. My brother said, like, he was like looking at me like, whoa, like, you guys like communicated without speaking. I'm like, yeah, I'm officially a member of the club now. The big white beard, the Gandalf Club. I went through the most interesting man in the world stage. I went through the Santa Claus ho 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 stage. I just want to get to Wizard, man. Wizard by Winter. Hashtag Wizard by Winter on Instagram. Let's start a little thing. How's that sound? Wizard by Winter. Don't touch that damn beard unless you're putting a shape on that you're going to grow out for 6 months. You got me? Peace means that two people have to come to the same conclusion at around the same time. If not, there's no peace. Resolution. Sometimes there's a peacemaker in between the two battling parties or countries or whatever. I don't want to battle with anybody, and I don't want to be battled with. Not interested in that. Think about that. I'm going to say that again. I don't want to be battling anybody, or I don't want to be battled with. Kind of like a live and let live kind of attitude. A worldview. I won't mess with you, you don't mess with me. Simple as that. There's peace in that. What's the hardest battle in your life? Is it chemical addiction? As I'm sitting here smoking. This is the most paradoxical YouTube channel in the world. I'm asking you, what are you battling? Chemical addiction as I puff on a pipe. Drink of this. When I run for president in 10 years, you can play this video. How's that sound? We'll see. But I'm not battling this, and I don't believe that me having a sip hurts anyone else. So some people think that. I don't think that. I've been around it forever. If two people come to the same conclusion, I won't mess with you, you won't mess with me, the minute one of the parties, so like for some of those parties, it has to be a contract, it has to be something you write down. For countries, it might be the use of force or intimidation. For religious sects, it's for fear and propagation of just pagan type thoughts. But if both parties, you don't mess with me, I don't mess with you, doesn't matter. There can be peace. You don't think about this. You heard the phrase peace on earth, goodwill toward men. Okay? Peace doesn't mean you have to love the other person. It just means you could hate the other person, but guess what? You don't go on his property or take his stuff. He doesn't come on your property and take your stuff. So technically speaking, you're at peace with them. I don't think I have to be huggy, huggy, kissy, kissy with everybody. I just want peace with everybody. I don't need you to agree with me, only half the time. And I don't need to agree with you on things. And then there's things that are for us to discuss and contemplate and think about and come to conclusions maybe together as opposed to separately. The minute someone breaks that contract, that covenant of, I won't mess with you, you won't mess with me, and we'll be happy. The minute someone changes those terms, that just wipes out the pre-existing covenant or agreement or promise or whatever you want to call it, treaty. The earlier one is done. So that's why it's important for two people from different cultures, different ends of the world, of the country, of race, religion, color, creed. Do you like white rice or basmati rice or brown rice? You know, I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about just the hardcore things that separate us as humanity. I want to get along with you. That doesn't mean I gotta love you and you have to love me. We just gotta get along. We could dislike each other and not hurt each other's personally or property. We can just get along and stay within our own boundaries. And that's okay. My suggestion is that we don't mess with others, and also conversely don't want to be messed with. Now, if you only have the first part, don't mess with others, but you don't have a self-protective thing going on, you know what that's called? That's called being punked, being stupid, being foolish. You never give someone complete 100% access to you. There's got to be a two-way street, whether it be people, companies, families, or a country. I respect you. You respect me. Different cultures have, and religions and peoples and countries have different ways of showing peace and getting along or coexisting, but not in the wacko, new age, coexist BS bumper sticker that I see everywhere. I'm talking about just truly existing without putting anyone down. That's possible. That's possible. Different cultures have different ways of expressing peace, but it all means the same thing. Security, safety, peace amongst us. Now, with this group here, it's just you and me. And the thing that brought us together was the facial hair and the love of facial hair. Even if you're a woman watching the Sultan of Silver and Beards Without Borders, you're one of the family and you are appreciated. You know what? Here's to all the ladies in the house. I think we're going to do okay. Peace be with you, no matter who you are or where you're from. And thank you for another audience for Beards Without Borders. See you next time.